I thought I'd talk about coaching today. I decided a few years ago that I'd like to train and become a coach. And that experience has given me a lot more exposure and access to coaching, whether that's through the cohort I was part of, and we still spend time coaching each other, and or, wider coaching experiences. And it kind of makes me reflect on, my own experience as a manager, my experience as a HR practitioner, and the way I've used coaching during my career before even knowing, that was a coaching style. I definitely feel that I've been a more ask type of manager than a tell, really trying to understand somebody else's perspective, and enabling that to help me make decisions. And I guess that's quite a good grounding for, not always being in control of what the answer might be. And I think that's a really interesting part of, as you become kind of more senior or more experienced, that, you do recognize you don't always need to know the answer. And actually the right answer might come from, that conversation, those questions that you might ask, and just becoming really curious about what the answers might be. And I suppose my desire to work more in that coaching space, I've always really loved working with groups, but a lot of my work has always been on a one-to-one basis, primarily coaching, but also actually the work that you do as a HR practitioner or as a manager. Often a lot of that is the experience that you give people, how you change cultures and change those experiences are always, tackled one person at a time. And so it's interesting that, that brought me to that crossroads. And I think there's a real impact for me around coaching. So receiving coaching means that I'm given time and space. I'm really given time to reflect and think through a problem from different perspectives. Whereas I think when you're really in the moment and, people are expecting you to know an answer, it's easy to, kind of give those quick fire answers because you've done it before and probably know what the answer is. But I think when you're working in a really senior role, I think people often assume from the outside that you've got it all together and you're doing it all on your own. And the reality is, of course, that you are often being supported by mentors, coaches, etc., on your journey. And I find the time then really valuable to explore an issue in a bit more detail and think about it either from different perspectives using tools, or what do I know about my own decision making, or what do I know about this particular subject that's going to help me to make that decision or navigate this particular challenge that I'm facing. And I think it really helps you to learn more about yourself, and learn about the value of time and space, and the value of reflection, and knowing and believing that the right answer usually does sit with you, and within you. And it is really about that skill of the coach to be able to bring that out, even when you might have been in despair and thinking, I just don't know the answer to this particular challenge. Often, or what I notice when I'm being coached, is the answer is already sitting there, and it kind of quite quickly maybe comes to mind, but actually you might have pushed that to one side because it's actually really difficult to do, or that really wasn't the answer that you wanted it to be. So I think it's just an enormously powerful experience. And I think with Start Inspiring and joining this organisation, everything we do is underpinned by that coaching experience, whether it's our learning and development programme, our management development programme, the work we do with clients ordinarily. There's a lot of the coaching techniques and style that we use really underpins the work that we do. And we're really lucky. There's 3 of us that are trained coaches, all with different and wonderful experiences and values to bring to that coaching experience, really creating that very client-led partnership, really, where, we work together to create the experience that helps them get the most impact from their coaching. And I suppose I would just leave you then with some questions to think about, which I always think are interesting at this time of year. You know, how do you would want to be arriving in 2024 that will bring you the joy and success that you're after? Yeah, would you like to explore that in more detail? You know, explore what impacts you could be having if you just changed a few things about your approach. And could you be having more time and space for reflection that would enable you to face some of the challenges that you're facing? And if you think that you would like to explore coaching in a bit more detail and like just an informal conversation with me about my experience, then yeah, please get in touch. Drop me a direct message, give me a call. I'd really love to hear from you.